Now let's go to Genesis chapter 2. I'm glad you said that right now. All right. So let's go to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. All right. We'll show you this so you understand. So you overstand and not be left behind with your head in the sand. All right. I made a rhyme, didn't I? Now, so Genesis chapter 2 verse 7 says, and YHWH, we just broke it down to Yah, the breath, Wah, the giver of breath, Yah, the life, Yah, the giver of life, Yah, the source of life, Wah, the giver of life. Huh? Don't that make sense? When I first came to the truth, I heard somebody say YHWH, and my understanding was unfruitful. And I asked, why are they saying YHWH? And no one could explain to me and break it down to me why. So I began to research, and the Most High, through research and through revelation of the understanding of the name, showed me why the name is YHWH. All right. Now, somebody said, brother, you sound like you're mad. I'm not mad. I'm just in it. This is how I teach. So if you've ever followed or if you've ever seen any of my old teaching, you see this is how I teach, brothers and sisters. I'm not mad at nobody but the devil. Okay, now, let me get back. So in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, it says, and YHWH Elohiym. Now we got some crazy, idiocentric, non-educated Hebrews who say El is a Canaanite deity, so you shouldn't say El or Elohim, but they spell the name of the Most High in a way in which it doesn't make any logical sense in any form of the Hebraic research. Okay, the original language is Hebrew. So what? Who gives a care if El was a Canaanite deity? Okay, so if we say YSRAEL, Isis was an Egyptian deity. So we don't throw out the first part of the name Is because there's an Egyptian deity, right? Ra is also an Egyptian deity. We don't throw the Ra out because Ra is an Egyptian deity, right? Because the Egyptians and the Hebrews share the same language called an Afro-Asiatic language, right? Abraham sojourned from Ur of the Chaldees to Egypt and was able to communicate with the civilization of Kemet or Egypt. Why? Because they had the similar dialect, brothers and sisters. So because they named their deity Ra, which simply means to rise, right? The sun rises in the morning, so they called the sun their deity, Ra, the sun. But we cannot exclude the name Israel because some other civilization made a deity out of Issa, Ra, and the Canaanites made a deity out of El. Okay, so we cannot say, we shouldn't say El, that's another pagan deity, because that's part of the language. El is part of the language, brothers and sisters. Okay, but let me get back. Okay, maybe we'll deal with that a little further. But no, you cannot create your own English or your own Hebronic language and spell the name Y-S-R-A-Y, Ysrayl. Because that don't make any logical sense. So you adding a yod in the name Israel because you don't like Ra, so you add the Ray in there, Ysrayl. Instead of you saying Israel, you say Ysraylite, L-I-T-E. That don't make any logical sense in the Hebrew sense of the word. But yet, you want to demonize me because I say Elohiym when you don't have no clue of the language of Hebrew. You are an illiterate to the language of Hebrew. Okay? My name is not Aki Kazak Yah. My name is Ak, which in Hebrew means brother. Brother Kazak Yah, not Aki Kazak Yah. Okay? If you are a sister, your name is not Akoti Saraya. Akoti means my sister. Your name is not my sister Saraya. Your name is Akot Saraya. Sister Saraya. Brother Kazak Yah. Ak Kazak. Akot Saraya. You understand? So we have a lot of ignorant, illiterate teachers out there. People teaching things in ignorance and illiteracy, and now they have people following them in the flocks because they're a good orator, they're a good speaker, they know how to attract an audience. So because they can attract an audience and they have a skill to gravitate people to them, now that makes them right. You won't find that anywhere in any reference book. Akoti Saraya, Aki Kazak Yah. Another person may call, hey, Aki, hey, Aki, my brother. How are you, my brother, Aki? How are you, Akoti, my sister? But my name is not Aki Kazak Yah or Akoti Saraya, okay? So hopefully, prayerfully, you got that in your belt now. You understand that how ignorant and how asinine that is to say, to use those phraseology, Ysraylite is so silly. Because you don't want to say Ysrayl. Silly. Really silly. Okay, now, it's even more sillier than silly putty. Okay. I guess I had some things stored up in me that had to come out. How you like me now, right? All right, now let me get back. Okay, now, so verse 7, where was that before I got way out there? Okay, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And Yahweh Elohiym, Yahweh El, we have El. Let me just break this down to you. Hebrews number 430. We're speaking Hebrew, not speaking no pagan deity, right? Okay, 430. So we go to 430 in the Strong's Concordance. We'll find in the Strong's Concordance, we'll find this. So we go to 430, right? Hallelujah. Alrighty. We hasten on, right out of time. Shabbat's coming to a close. When you get on fire, boys, the time just flies, don't it? Okay, 430. 430. Alrighty. Hallelujah. 430. Okay. I'm feeling good right now. I'm not mad at nobody but the devil. So don't nobody think, well, brother, who you throwing off at? I'm throwing off at everybody. If you feel like I'm throwing off at you, then it is you I'm throwing off at. I just won't call your name. I'll just talk about your teaching. Okay, Elohiym, or Elohiym, has some pronounce it, is Aleph Lamed. Eyes are playing tricks on me. Yod Mem, Elohiym, which it says the plural of 433. So 433, if we go to 433, it says Allah. Oh, Allah. See? Now, you say, oh, brother, you sound like a Muslim. No, you know what? We have to stop being stupid, brothers and sisters. Or let me use a better terminology. We have to stop being ignorant, not knowledgeable of our language. Allah, which we're reading right here. Let me go back first. It says 433. That's 423. I'm gonna deal with that in a second, but go to 433. Okay, 433. It says Eloah. Eloah. There goes that Y again, right? Eloah. It says rarely shortened. Eloah. It says a deity or the deity, right? Eloah. Okay. Now, 430. It says from plural of 433. And 433 is Eloah. El-O-Wah. Right? It says from 410. Eloah from 410. Okay, so we go to 410. All right, now in 410 we see what? El. El. It says short form of 352, a strength as an adjective, mighty, especially the Almighty, but used also as any deity. So what they call their Canaanite deity El, but we know the root of the word El is Almighty. Okay, so El is not a bad word. You can't use El because El is a Canaanite deity. Right here in the language, El, Aleph, Lamed, El means Almighty. So it's appropriate to say Yahweh, the El, or the Eloah, or the Elohiym, or Eloah of Ysrayl. Right? Mighty, it says use also of any deity. Now it says from 352. So if we go to 352, right? Let's walk on back. 352. All right. It says Aleph Yod Lamed Ayil, A-Y-I-L, the same as strength. Anything strong, specific, a chief politically, also a ram from his strength. Pilaster as a strong support, an oak or other strong tree. You see that? So now this is telling us, brothers and sisters, that it's okay to say El. Okay? Because it is a part of the language of Hebrew. All right? Are we clear now? Your brother is not having you to call a pagan deity when you speak Hebrew. Because the people that say, oh, we don't have to learn Hebrew, obviously maybe you need to enroll in the Hebrew school, because apparently you're teaching false teaching. You're twisting and confusing people with your ignorance because you don't understand the language, so you don't want to learn the language, so you create your own. Let me give you something right here, right? Just came to my mind. Okay, Shaul said that, right? All right, Romans, this is what Shaul said, chapter 10, verse 1. I'll read this here. He said, brother, my heart's desire and prayer to Elohiym for Ysrayl is that they might be saved. Right? Why? For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Elohiym, but not according to knowledge. They have a zeal, right? There's so many Hebrew Israelites that pop up on the internet. Let me get this microphone right so you can hear me. There are a lot of Israelites that are out teaching, right? They have presented their own righteousness, brothers and sisters. I'm ready to throw this book at the camera. It says, for I bear record that they have a zeal of Elohiym, but not according to knowledge, for they being ignorant of Elohim's righteousness are going about to do what? To establish their own righteousness, right? Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Elohiym. Whether you would say El is a pagan deity or not, you better submit to the Almighty. For they being ignorant means what? Not knowing, right? Not knowing. Being ignorant of Elohim's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Elohiym. You see that? Now, the Mashiach is the end, not meaning do away with, but the Mashiach is the fulfillment of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes. Right? Now, I don't want to go off into a lesson on that, but I basically want to show you that as we come into this revival of knowledge, there is a great delusion, right? This is what Shaul says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. He says this. Let's start at verse 7. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. So Then shall that wicked be revealed, whom YHWH shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even whose coming in after the working of Hasatan, or Satan, the devil, with all power and signs of lying wonders, right? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. For this cause Elohiym shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, right? So we got a lot of unrighteousness going on among Israelites, braggadocious and prideful, arrogant, you know, self-righteous, right? Okay, nobody's right but me. Damnable heresies, right?